The students don't understand why I communicate with clients the way I do. So if I was working on you, Shim, yeah, you've got an intake form and you filled out stuff, and I go, I'll look at this beforehand and then put it aside and go, Shim, tell me what's going on. What are you having problems with? And then immediately it's like problem solution oriented. Oh, you having a problem with your shoulder? What happened with your shoulder? Are you having pain in your shoulder? Are you even tingling in your shoulder? Is it running down to your fingers? Like, what are you getting? The students are like, well, the client just has shoulder pain. What do I do? And I'm like, where on the shoulder are they having pain? And they're like, well, I don't know, because they're just thinking about delivering the service.
Right.
Like it's the it's like it's the same for everybody. And I'm like, no. When I connect deeply with Shim as a client and I help you with that shoulder pain because I communicate with you, you don't feel like I didn't do my job because I didn't do the massage. You feel like, whoa, this dude is my massage. Like this guy went, he performed
Right.
above and beyond, and that's how I made my living. But you can understand why in a digital format, trying to deliver that education, they're like, dude, this guy is like, he's like breaking the rules. And I go, yes, but we have great clinical outcomes.
Yeah, I understand. Listen, everything you're speaking to, gosh, I mean, we're really mirroring each other. I think a lot of businesses, entrepreneurs like ourselves that are pushing the envelope, trying to pioneer new methods. It's a mirror image. I have the same thing I talk about every day. I just keep at it, Robert. It's one of those things where I'm really comfortable now knowing I'm different. I'm very comfortable in my shoes now, my skin. So I'm trying to. I want to say this in a way where I can tell, like I can tell you're pushing. I read your all your comments. I read everything you post. I watch your videos, and I can see, like, man, like you're really. It's probably harder for you in the industry you're in. You get a lot of pushback. I don't get pushback, and it might be because I get little because this industry is small. I mean, within a 5 mile radius, there might be
Licensure, and I think my industry is more regimented.
It is because you have certifications, whereas here, I mean, they're loose, man. They're not really coaching certification. It's called a safety certification, but people think it's a coaching certification. There's no coaching thing. I mean, you can go take them, but there's very few of those. Most people in my industry were simply athletes. Okay, so you were an athlete,
Yeah.
and guess what? If you have the money, you can go open a business tomorrow. Done. And you can start teaching all this stuff and set up a routine, and you can it's that easy. And so because of that, there's very little pushback because each club can do it whatever they want. And so can I. But because here's the difference, I'm a non-competitive facility. Okay, I set it up like that on purpose. Most gyms, I would say all of them, have competitive platforms. I do not. I did it on purpose. Okay, so I created a facility where I would teach everybody. So if you had an issue, if you were a gymnast or you're a dancer and you wanted to learn how to tumble, here's the place. I did it on purpose so I could gather the confidence of the entire community. So they could come here and train without feeling out of place. Like we're at that place. No, this is a neutral ground. You know, this is what is it in Highlander? You know, this is you know, whatever I forget Highlander, but this is like, you know, sacred ground. You know, like you're safe here. And what it did was, it immediately became my biggest growth because I'm lucky to say this. Every single gymnastics facility in the city and outskirts cheer and dance. I have every single business coming to me, learning these skills. They can take those skills, go back and compete. And I'm the beneficiary of all that. I get all the, you know, referrals. Oh, you know, from if there's the Francis or all these Revolution, I teach everybody. And so I think it's lessened the kickback that you might feel because the pushback or the back talk, because I teach everybody's kids anyway. I'm supporting these other people's businesses, making them winners. And so people look at me as like, oh, that guy, he's not competing against us. He's helping us. So I only get kickback usually on technical stuff, but in terms of like a change in the business, I'm helping people's businesses. So I may not get as many of the flags you get respectfully?
There's a big divide, and it's coming into more contrast as the business grows. We've struggled with this because I'm still teaching techniques on a table because the majority of my industry is table based. I understand that. I accept that. I'm more comfortable being on a table, working on a table, teaching on a table. I continue to do it again and again and again and again. The transition is facilities don't allow mat work. They're like, once you get to the mat, they're like, they know, I think internally, this changes things in ways we're uncomfortable with. Not because it's ineffective, it's just new. Like we don't even have the architecture for this. Like we don't have mats. Now we got to take down a table, and where do we put the table? It's like
Right.
there's almost not a geographic, but there's an architecture issue. So I teach on a table, and I teach effective techniques, and I'll give you a quick example. There was a facility here in town. They called me, hired me, and I was like, okay, I got intro tie, I got table tie, and they're like, nope. In other words, they want to change my curriculum to fit what they want. And I go, okay, what do you want? And they're like, table base, 6 hours. I'm like, all right, how much? Okay, cool. I'll come in, I'll teach. I come in, I'm setting up tripods, setting up cameras, and they're like, wait, what are you doing? And I'm like, oh, I film all my classes. And they're like, wait, but no. And I'm like, no, that's cool. And I just keep setting it up. Because in massage, everybody's naked. I haven't had a client take off clothes probably in over 8 years. They're like, dude, this shit is crazy. So I get the camera set up. I start teaching. All the students are just freaking out. They're like, dude, this shit is amazing. Oh my God, this is revolutionary.
Right.
Afterwards, the guy pulled me aside. This is weeks later, and he's like, we have a problem. The boss doesn't like it. And I'm like, okay, hold on. Now, I put out a lot of video to warn you who you're getting involved with. Okay? I don't go to a Rage Against the Machine concert and expect Enya.
Right.
I don't go see Tool and expect James Taylor.
Right.
Okay, I put out video as much for education as a warning. Like, this guy don't.
Right.
So I said, is the work amazingly effective for the clients? Absolutely. Is it easier on your body? Absolutely. Has your rebook rate gone up? Are you making more money for the company and the owner? He's like, absolutely. And I'm like, listen, the problem is your boss wants something that's ineffective. He can hire somebody else to teach that.
Right.
And I went right back home, and it's like, that's the divide. They're like, this guy's not conforming to this, industry. And I'm like, guys, despite my attitude, it's been successful. The clients love it. My business is growing. It's not maybe where I want it to be. We continue to educate online. My main gig at this point is education. But what's interesting is, like, just in Austin, I get more students from other cities and coming from other states than I do from the city I live in.
Wow.
And it's because there's this
algorithm issue.
No, I think it's competition. I think fundamentally, I was told the word on the street is there was a local school telling students not to listen to me. Don't listen to that guy, Robert Gardner, because it's starting to fuck with core curriculum. Because they're like, well, I've seen Robert Gardner do it this way, and they're trying to use that, and they're like, no, stop that. That's dangerous.
I have the same issue here. Okay, same exact issue. Because I have clients. I don't have a competition platform, so all the competitors come to me. So, but they're also being coached. Here's the funny part, right? So they have coaches. I have clients. All my clients have coaches, but yet they come to me. It's kind of funny. Okay, that's like somebody have a massage therapist, but they're still coming to you. All right, and all of a sudden, it's like, well, what Robert's teaching, and what my this is different. So, who's doing it right? Who's more effective, right? And so, a conversation has to start. I have the same problem here with like back tucks. Some people want to do back tucks a certain way. I teach efficiency. I teach the physics of it. It's about efficiency. Yes, it can be done another way. It can be done another way, and that physics works. But at what cost for safety and function? At what cost? And so I have a lot of coaches at other clubs that speak poorly, like, don't listen to that guy, Shim. Don't listen to him. He doesn't know what he's doing, right? I even have text messages come in from other parents who still come to me and say, look what her coach said about your technique. And yet those clients are still coming to me because I can substantiate every single claim I make, every single one. And I tell them, it's like, well, if you want to listen to your coach, can you talk to them? just ask them, why can't we do it this way? If you can't speak to your professional provider, then there's a problem. You can ask me absolutely anything. So I take that opportunity when there is that type of back talk or negative talk towards me as an opportunity to showcase my talents. In fact, here's something I've been talking about: podcasting. I want to make a huge difference. I've been writing for 25 years. I have probably like over 800 pages of information I can edit. I want to edit it and put it into a book. I haven't done it yet. I want to. Even if I do, I'm scared to put it out because it becomes a whistleblower book. It'll kind of expose everybody. It'll expose the industry completely as to what's happening. But I'm almost went off on a tangent on that because the book thing is huge in my mind. Trying to find other platforms to show off my stuff too. But I guess what I'm trying to get back to the point. You have to edit this part. I lost.
Oh, I don't. So they're like, you edit this after the fact, right? And I'm like, no.
You don't have to.
No, but for me, it's warts and all.
With the coaching thing, I got it. I'm back. I got it back. But yeah, when it comes to them speaking negatively about what I do, I use that as an opportunity to showcase my real talent and to also give the client strength to ask their other provider questions. Like, you should be able to talk to them about what they're doing, and they should be able to substantiate everything. If they can't, or doesn't make sense, then you have to decide. You can go to them. You don't have to come to me, but you can choose that other person or me. So that's how I typically answer those questions.